All right, here we are with our post SMMOC Saturday recap. Scott, how's it going today?
It's going great, Bob. Thanks for asking.
How's it going, Stace?
It's going just fine, thank you.
All right, so what did we learn at SMMOC today?
Why are you guys looking at me? Okay, I'll start. We had a lot of conversation about ROI today, which I thought was fascinating because it's always a fascinating conversation. And ROI through social media, and again, we talked about the same thing. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, WordPress, these are all tools, and they're all communication tools. And the ROI isn't necessarily that you get paid for being on these things, but you build relationships and you connect with people and you have conversations that then lead to unexpected opportunities that then can evolve into the monetization of whatever you're doing by meeting people and building relationships.
There was also a discussion too about how the back channel is a very important part of the monetization of social media. So things like making sure you're coming back and collecting email addresses. Email as a strategy on the back end to be able to discuss or promote. List building is a really important part of the monetization of social media.
What do you consider a back channel?
So back channel in email, basically it's not what's public facing on your Twitter stream. You're not selling through your Twitter stream and broadcasting your services and your listings per se. But if you can get people to opt into an email list to hear your message and then be doing a little more targeted direct sales through those channels, that's really kind of how you convert it and use social media to build your list.
Yeah, if people think that what you're saying is interesting, they'll usually give you permission to be notified when you have something else interesting to say. As soon as you stop being interesting, they'll stop following. But if you can get that following, there's leverage. There's a lot of value in that.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, for me today, did you want to go
next?
No,
go ahead.
Okay, so for me today, we had some tools discussions. We talked about specific tools. One of the common questions is regarding Twitter about TweetDeck and versus Hootsuite.
Yeah.
So we had a discussion about some of the pros and cons of those. For me, the first thing that I like to remind people is that actually moving to one of those is a huge step forward in your Twitter using experience. If you're using twitter.com, you're not using the full power of Twitter to really capitalize on what you can do with your list building on Twitter, because Hootsuite and TweetDeck both allow some organization to Twitter and some grouping and some tracking that's not possible on twitter.com. Now, Hootsuite is totally web-based, and so that's a good tool. It has pros and cons, but you don't like the totally web-based experience.
Yeah, hater.
I'm a hot. So what you're saying, I think, is really important, and I don't want to just gloss over that. What these tools do is organize the conversation better.
Yeah.
So you can have more focused conversations and monitor different conversations.
And find relevant people to follow as well. So research both of those. There's pros and cons to each of them. We can do a subsequent video that really describes the benefits and features of each of them. But really, it's a step forward in your Twitter strategy. You should investigate both tools. And Twitter just purchased TweetDeck. So it's kind of up in the air exactly what's going to happen with that. But both are effective tools that are commonly used in our space to maximize your Twitter experience.
And I prefer TweetDeck just because I'm used to the user interface.
And I'm growing more and more fond of Hootsuite. So it's really, there's going to be pros and cons. I think we'll talk about this in a future episode.
Good, with some screen captures too, I hope.
Okay,
good. All right, and my takeaway today was the new app called Sonar. Sonar takes your social media channels. Right now it's Foursquare, Facebook, and Twitter. And it aggregates that, and so what happens is when you walk into a venue and you check in on Sonar, it'll pull in everybody that's in that venue that is connected through Foursquare, Twitter, and Facebook, and it will tell you whether you're connected with them and which channels you're connected with them on. It's kind of exciting. It's brand new, so it's
Is it an app or a web URL?
It's an app and it's a URL, but it's
It really surprised me. Friends that I know that I see on a regular basis, usually here at SMMOC, I wasn't friends with them on Facebook. I follow them on Twitter, and I have great conversations with them on Twitter, but I didn't follow them on Facebook, and I didn't know, and it told me that, and so I already think that there was a ton of value to that.
So you download the Sonar app to your smartphone?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
And right now I checked into the Social Media Mastermind Lab, and it tells me that there are 22 people here, and it finds all the friends, and it finds all their interests, shared interests.
What it does is it leverages Foursquare. So what I believe that it's built on Foursquare, so it's the people that, because it's everybody that checked into Foursquare, I think. Or that has checked into Foursquare. So it's tied into that kind of, and then it tells you what other relationships you have. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
I
look at it as sort of like 6 degrees of separation. So maybe one of your friends is there, and they check in, and it shows me through your friendship with them that they're there. And one of the comments today at SMMOC was, well, you know what? If I didn't know you and you checked in, and I saw you checked in, and you were a friend of Scott Shang's, I'd want you to come over and introduce yourself to me. I'm not so sure if I'm ready to do that. I don't want to be called a stalker, but it's an interesting app. It's Sonar, S-O-N-A-R.
Yeah, definitely a good tool to look out for, and a great tip from today's meeting. So
Yeah.
with that, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend.